Good evening. Welcome in. It is the Dudley Hilton Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce, joined by the head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears, Dudley Hilton, as we talk U-Pike football. And he is the all-time winningest coach in Kentucky high school history. 34 consecutive winning seasons, now 3-1 on the season. On his way to a 35th consecutive winning season. Ladies and gentlemen, our coach of the University of Pikeville Bears, Dudley Hilton.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
3-1, it makes these shows easier to handle, doesn't it?
Well, it makes better living around here. It makes everything a lot better. You know, winning cures a lot of problems, you know, but right now, you know, things are going well for us. Our kids are reacting good, playing well, and the communities are getting behind us. And I like to see everything up on the upbeat. They started our new building project this week, and so you know, just things are looking bright. And you know, again, give a lot of credit to the football team because they're really, you know, they're representing the area well and then playing hard.
Of course, the University of Pikeville basketball team, they got a lot of publicity. Winning a national championship will do that for you. But also the hiring of Dudley Hilton, that started the excitement on the U-Pike campus. And then when you get off to a 3-1 start, you take over some of that publicity because you're the hot thing in town right now. It's the U-Pike Bears.
Well, you know, we're very proud of what we've done so far and everything. But, you know, this Mid-South Conference is a very good conference, a good football teams in it, and it sells itself pretty well. So if you're going to be a part of that, you got to be able to get up there and compete with them. And I think that's why, you know, that they decided they'd go, you know, let's compete with them in football also. So I think that's what we're doing, and that's what we're representing. And you know, if you can compete for the Mid-South Conference, you've got a good football team. And you know, and that's, you know, what you said about Kelly and his basketball. I think that's what they did in basketball. They got their big indoor facility, arena down there playing basketball, and they upped their program, and now they're competing in the Mid-South. If you want to compete in the Mid-South in football, you got to do the same thing. That's what the university is doing, and hopefully, you know, we're going to compete for it.
Completely different mindset, obviously. Congratulations, a 51-34 win, a record-setting day over Faulkner University. Your thoughts on the Bears' performance? Obviously happy with the win.
Well, we were happy, no question about it. You know, again, we had a beautiful day play football and a good crowd, and we was playing at home. And you know, we took that open kickoff and got down on the goal line and fumbled, and I didn't know if it was going to be one of these days or not. But I don't know if it woke us up or what, but we struggled around there for a little while. But after we got things going, everything looked great. Our defense looked sluggish at times, but then they played well. And, you know, our offense looked great pretty well all day. They looked a little sluggish a couple times, but, again, their kicking game did a great job. And again, they look a little sluggish a couple times, but if we knock out a few of the sluggish here and there on the offense and defense and the kicking game, we got a heck of a football team. But that's part of the game. But overall, I thought we played hard, or you know, a lot of excitement in the game. And I know talking to a few fans after the game, they really enjoyed it. And that's what it's all about. If your kids playing hard and people come and you know, you spend the afternoon on Saturday afternoon, you know, you want to give them a good show, and I think that's what we did.
No doubt about it. It is a fun brand of football when you see kids playing so hard. I've also had an opportunity to talk to some of the players. They enjoy playing this style. They enjoy playing for a team that gets after it, that plays hard. There is a different mindset, not just in the community, not just around campus, but it seems in the players as well, particularly ones that have been here last year and to this year.
Well, you know, again, that's what we had to change some and do some things a little different. And, you know, we're treating them like somebody, and they're feeling important. They feel like a football player, and they, you know, keep throwing up about playing college football, and they're playing college football, and they're going out there and playing the right way. So, you know, again, that's all people, you know, Andrew, you called many games and you've been there as a fan. All you want to see kids play hard, not do the silly things, be in the right position. Every once in a while make a hard catch or make a good tackle, and it makes your day go a lot better watching that game. And you know, and I think that's what our football team doing. We've been a little bit on defense, but we didn't give up what you call real easy touchdowns. And as long as you're fighting out there, then that makes you good. Same thing offensively. You know, we threw a few long balls, but basically we did what the, you know, what they give us to do, and you know, if you keep on, it's just like that old bunny rabbit, you know, you keep on ticking, you know, and let's see. And I think that's what we did offensively. We didn't get discouraged. We made some big third down plays, and you know, just did what we had to do to take care of business there on Saturday afternoon.
I like it. The Energizer Bunny meets U-Pike football. You heard it here first. The Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. 51-34 the final. Record 44 points in the half. Several records set Saturday. Count them, two National Players of the Week. Coach Hilton, the Bears are ranked in the top 15 in the country in 12 categories. As a coach, what do any of those mean?
You know, records are good. I like, you know, but I'm not here for records. I'm trying to help this football team to win. I think if you win 9 or 10 games or go into the playoffs, and then you made 150 people happy, and you made 15 coaches happy, and you made a community happy. Of course, records are, you know, that's why you have records, to be broken. And I'm very proud of Trevor. I'm very proud of the young man that get 3 interceptions in a game. That's they're great. But you know, Trevor will be the first one to tell you the records ain't gonna count if you lose. And you know, and I think the bottom line, he knows he's got to have a good defense and do those things. But you know, the records, and that's what gives the press something to talk about and everything. But as a football coach and being the head dog there, you've got to you know, put the things in perspective and keep everybody happy. Records will take care of itself, and all that stuff take care of. But you know, I used to like to play these coaches in high school that worried about the records. You know, I worry about winning games. You know, and so you know, we don't want to get that, but we also don't want to go uncovered. Having 2 National Players of the Week on the same football team, I don't know if that's ever been happened or not. I don't think it's happened at Pikeville before, but they represented our football team, and but our team is representing herself well too, and that's what we want to be also represented.
A couple of those rankings that do correlate to wins. Number 1 in NAIA football in total pass offense. That'll get you some wins if you play defense. Number 15 in the NAIA in pass defense efficiency. Those are a couple of things. If you play defense, if you have a prolific offense, you're going to win a lot of games. You look at those obviously after the fact.
Well, yeah, you know, again, I think the other day I figured up the offense had 15 opportunities and scored almost 50% of them, or right at 50%. I think we had 1 interception back for a touchdown, and one of them was a field goal. But on a whole, you know, they had plenty of opportunities to do that, and their defense had, you know, they stopped them about 30. I think they scored about 33% of the time, but we held them down a little bit. But when you make turnovers and cause that other team, you know, we had 5 interceptions on the day. Right. It just don't happen, Andrew. I mean, you just don't show up and get an interception. You get the ball back for the offense, and the offense go. But if the offense don't get the ball back, then, you know, how can you break these records? So all these things got to go hand in hand. And, you know, like I said, Trevor will be the first one to tell you that, you know, it ain't worth a dime if you lose. And he had a great year last year, but I think he's enjoying it a lot more this year.
No doubt about it. It's the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're coming to you from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail, Pikeville, every Tuesday at 6:30. And talking with the head coach of the Bears, Dudley Hilton, outside of Trevor Hoskins and Dimitri Travis. We'll talk about those guys more. Individually, what were some other standout individual performances, offensively or defensively, that you've seen from the film?
Well, you know, I think our offensive linemen getting better every week. They're young, and people took advantage of them early in the year, but I think we're doing a few things offensively to help give them a little bit more confidence. You know, when you score 51 points, you know, somebody's got to be getting confidence on it, not only Trevor or the receiver, but, you know, somebody's got to get confidence. So it's got to be the offensive line. I thought we had a couple boys last week. Shantez Johnson had a big game at the end. He's a big-time player for us, and I thought Hunter Adams made a couple good catches. And it was good to see Shante Zachary out there. You know, he was my quarterback a couple years ago when we won the state championship at Bell County. and he made a few good plays. But I think we're scattering it out a lot more. We're not just depending on one or two kids. So offensively, I think we're got several more good receivers. Napier's had a good game again, but defensively, I think we're trying to stay solid over there. We're not very big in the defensive backs, but I'll tell you, our defensive backs, there's, like you said, there's some things they're doing, leading the conference in this and that, and just making a good showing. But we're using a lot of defensive linemen up front. But overall, I think we're doing a good job. We're bending a little bit, but I hope we're getting better every week, Andrew.
No doubt about it. It seems that you certainly are, and those are some great performances. You know how us media are. We love numbers. We love stats. We look at those things. We look at rankings. And while the quarterback, you see those, the receivers, the running backs, the offensive linemen, they've got a couple rankings too, and I want to share these with our listeners. Number 4 in the NAI in total sacks against. That's an offensive line stat coupled with the quarterback being able to escape. And then number 5 in sacks against a percentage based on the game. Only 2 sacks allowed through 4 games. That's a tremendous job, and they are getting better each week.
Well, I think they're doing a great job. You know, we lost a great center early in the year that we lost, and a young man come in there, Jesse Hensley, a freshman, that's doing well. And, I just feel like you got to give the Mobley boy a lot of credit there. He's a senior up there. He does a lot of leadership for those young men, and I think Coach Holland uses him a lot for his setting up the pass protection for his quarterback. So it's good to have that one big senior guy that just does a great job up there for us.
Talking with Coach Dudley Hilton, the head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears. It's the Dudley Hilton Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. And Coach, I've heard many coaches say that a good team will expose weaknesses. What were you concerned about after Faulkner? Any weaknesses exposed that you saw from the film?
Yeah, again, defensively, we just got to keep working. We're, again, working with some young kids out there, and you take a good, experienced quarterback like Faulkner did. He had a pretty big day. We made some big defensive plays and interception, but when you get back and you have to stop the pass and then you stop the run too, and it puts a really good strain on our defense. But again, I think they're getting better, and offensively, I thought the other day as sharp as since I've been here. As far as our pass patterns we was running, spreading it out a lot more. So I think still you ain't seen the best offense yet. I think we'll get better offensively because we're getting competition. So. But as far as anything just in particular bothering me, I'm really not comfortable with our special teams right now. I think we could be a little bit stronger. We got a good kick man, good punter, but again, we're trying to play a few young kids running down the field, and people really like the Shorters and the Camelsville this week. They're pretty good on these special teams, and we didn't do bad on our special teams though. We had some pretty good returns ourselves.
Third quarter. Bears came out a little flat, both offensively and defensively, but particularly the offense in the third quarter. Was it because of the big lead? Was it because maybe pulled the offense back a little bit, trying to eat some clock?
Well, I think Jordan Amos probably said it best on the sideline. We've got to get that killer instinct. We don't have that yet. We feel good about ourselves and we feel like we're doing good. But when we let our guard down, we're just a typical old football team that's not very good. And I think as long as we play together, as long as we all go out there and contribute, then I think we're a good football team. I just don't think we're the type of team that can sit back and, boy, look at me playing or strut our shoulders out and act like we're all bad. I just don't think we're that good. And if we were, most of our kids be playing at UK or Tennessee or West Virginia, but they're here, so they got to play on their heart. They got to play on their enthusiasm, and as long as they do that, then they're a good football team. And when we lose that killer instinct, then we're just an average team. Belfry probably could beat us if we did. But if we go out there and play and get that killer instinct, we got to work on that. I appreciate Jordan saying that on the sideline.
Yeah.
We are liking that, but that's just a nature things that kids do, and that's why you have upsets. So we wouldn't watch the game Friday night. We thought it was going to go one way, and it went the other way because this one team, I just didn't think they come to play. They read in the paper how good they were, and we can't get caught up in the publicity. We can't get caught up in how good we think we are. We got to go out every week and prove that you know, we're legit, and that's one thing some of them are lacking, and no, and that's I guess that's why they pay me for, to make sure we don't get relaxed, you know.
It's a pretty strong statement coming from a young player, though, Jordan Amos, to make that statement on the sideline.
But that's the way he plays. That's the way, you know, again, you had him on your show last week, and you know that he's a go-getter. And if he didn't, you know, he's just a little old small, another little athlete, you know. But he's got to back up what he's saying, and that's what we're doing. And we got a few more. He's not the only one. We got a couple on defense, plays with that same mentality, and got a few more. But again, you know, we just can't get relaxed, and that's why that third quarter we go in the dressing room and we get relaxed, and we want to talk. Do you see me hit this boy, or you see me catch it, you know, make this catch, or do this? They want to brag on what they did the first half, and when they realize there's two halves, you got to come out and prove it again. And you know, we just got to get us a killer instinct, and when we do, we don't want to be nobody 100 to nothing, but we want to get our job done. And 51-34. I wasn't even comfortable with that with about 6-7 minutes to go in the game, because they was a very explosive football team. And so we got to get, you know, to me, when you take care of business, you get somebody down 50-0, then you took care of business. And you can't relax when you got a team like Faulkner that could throw the ball and score just like we could, you know.
It's the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail. And talking with the head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears, coming off a 51-34 win over Faulkner. And just listening to the coach, you can see why this team is 3-1 on the season. Coach, we've got a guest on the show tonight, secondary coach David Jones. What does David Jones, as a player in the SEC, bring to the program, to the secondary, and to the coaching staff?
Well, he's been there and done it. He's, you know, he proved that he can play the college football game, and you know, he's got to come with what he's learned from the college level and the SEC, and carry it over to the Pikeville boys. And so far, you know, he's done a great job. He's worked hard with them, and you know, he's relating good with them. But you know, it's just like any young coaches, they got to keep that thumb down and keep proving every week. And you know, that's his biggest challenge right now. You know, he's dealing with some young kids that's going to let their guards down, but again, he knows how the SEC is week after week, and hopefully he'll keep continuing and keep putting the pressure on their secondary. And what I see right now, he's kept his thumb down on him, and doing a great job with them.
Just like high school football, you're only as good as that Friday night. College football, you're only as good as that Saturday afternoon.
I wish we could live on what we've done down the past, Andrew. 345 games. You know, it's just, wish I could live on it, you know.
Other teams wouldn't show up.
But, you know, it's just something it's a drive into you, and you got to prove it every week. And then, again, that's what this secondary doing. I look out there and I say, well, how are you going to burn our secondary? We look out there and they look all about 5'5" to me. You know, we're not very tall and but we play with a lot of heart, and we're in good position. And as long as we're doing that, then you know, good things going to happen to you.
The Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail. We'll talk more with the coach in just a little bit. Coming up next, we'll have special guest, secondary coach David Jones, on the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in. It's the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce, and of course, Dudley Hilton will rejoin us just moments from now as we come to you from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail, Pikeville, and it's the home of the new Bear Burger. You want to check that out. I can't describe it on the air. There are FCC regulations. It's a big boy. Trust me. We're joined now by a special guest and, of course, secondary coach of the University of Pikeville Bears, former University of Kentucky Wildcat defensive back. We saw him play his high school days at Belfry High School. Ladies and gentlemen, David Jones. And David, welcome to the Coach Dudley Hilton Show.
Thanks for having me on.
It's always our pleasure to talk, and you and I have talked over many different situations from your high school days on, but here you are as a coach at the University of Pikeville. First of all, let's talk about your background. Let's tune the listeners and viewers into where David Jones comes from.
I'm from Red Jacket, West Virginia. I played my high school football at Belfry High School. I went on to University of Kentucky, finished my career there, went to the Baltimore Ravens. I played at AF1, and now I've re-signed back with the Eastern Kentucky Drillers.
Indoor football, a lot of folks that maybe didn't get to see you play in high school had a chance to, and they saw what an explosive player you can be. It's a different game now. You're on the sideline.
Yeah, it's a whole lot different, but if I can't play it all my life, I want to coach it. So I had to find a way to be a part of something.
You've got a young group of defensive backs, coupled with a little experience. What's the experience been like for you? You're not that far removed from playing the college game to interact with these guys, to get your points across and try to help them improve.
That's the big plus about it, me not being so far removed from the game, and they understand that, and they know I've been there and done it, and I've been in their situations, and I know how to explain to them how to get out of the certain situations they get in, and I get a lot of respect from that, because the guys that I'm coaching, they actually grew up watching me play, so it's a whole lot easier on me.
No doubt about it. We've got a guy who's the National Defensive Player of the Week. Tremendous honor. And he's one of your DBs. Dimitri Travis, tremendous game. He had 7 solo tackles, also 3 interceptions to earn those honors. Talk a little about his play. He's just a sophomore. How much further can he go?
Dimitri, he got a lot of improvement to do. He an excellent player. I mean, it's I can explain one thing to him, he gets it like that. I don't have to teach him much, and it's just, you got to have it as a corner. You got to have the knack for it to do it, and he, it's going to be scary for the opposite opponents in the next 2 years of what he can be.
Learning schemes, learning coverages, those are things you can teach.
Right.
But those natural instincts, the nose for the ball, being able to read a quarterback, his eyes, the way he moves his feet, those are things you can't teach.
Right, and that's what I tell them guys, I can coach you, but I can't get out there and play for you, What they do out on the field is them, it's not me. The only thing I can do is prepare them for the situation.
Talk about Dimitri Travis, obviously, with the game he had last week. Let's talk about some other members of your secondary and their performance this year.
I have 2 of the smartest safeties in the whole NAIA or the whole world. It's Jade Haddix and Josh Sammons. Jade Haddix is from Breathitt County, and Josh Sammons is from Maplewood, West Virginia, transfer from Marshall. And I have Larry West, my other corner, from Lawrence County. I mean, my opinion, I have the best secondary in the NAIA, the best secondary, and I wouldn't trade any of my guys for the world. And they're young. I'm gonna have these guys from now until whenever, until they let me go or whatever.
No surprise that all of those guys, including Dimitri, come from programs, real high school football programs that are proven winners, with West coming from Lawrence County, Salmon's coming from Matewan, tradition-rich team there. These guys have come from winners. How important is that a player is accustomed to winning and they don't want to grow into the habit of losing?
It's just, it's the competitive in them. They're competitive. They don't want to get beat, and that's what you gotta have as a DB. First you gotta have a short memory, and then you gotta be competitive. I have a little saying. You gotta have a chip on your shoulder. You gotta be I tell them I'm the best DB ever, because you gotta have that in you to be the best, and that's what they have coming from the programs that they come from. Just a winning tradition.
No doubt about it. Talking with David Jones, secondaries coach at the University of Pikeville, and you're watching and listening to the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. David, if a player's listening or seeing this program, and a young player, a high school player, a middle school player, and they want to become a better player or want to play at the next level, what advice would you give them?
The first thing, you gotta get your grades. First thing, that when any college coach came and visit me at my school or at home, first thing they asked was about my grades. And if you don't get that, then there's nothing else I could tell you to do. But the second thing is you gotta work. You gotta work when the coaches is not looking, when you don't have 1,000 people surround you looking. For example, at night times, when I was in high school, I used to go run. I used to put a parachute on and just run and run. Even though I was fast, I knew I had to get better because there's always going to be somebody out there working as hard as you are. So.
In the SEC, there's a lot of fast guys.
Yes,
got to be just as fast. Ladies and gentlemen, David Jones, secondary coach at the University of Pikeville. He's responsible for those defensive backs. That one of those is a National Player of the Week. When we come back, we'll talk to the National Defensive Player of the Week, Dimitri Travis. You're watching and listening to the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in, the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, coming to you from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail, Pikeville. I'm Andrew Joyce, and it's my pleasure to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, the latest NAI National Defensive Player of the Week, Dimitri Travis. Welcome to the Dudley Hilton Show.
Thanks for having me.
I tell you, it's quite a performance last week. The offense setting records. Dimitri Travis tying a school record with 3 interceptions, also had 7 solo tackles. And then, I guess Monday afternoon, you were named National Defensive Player of the Week. How did you hear about that?
Actually, a bunch of my teammates told me. You know, they texted me, a couple of my family members texted me, and my coaches really.
What's it feel like?
I mean, it's great. It's a great individual award, but without my defense, you know, there's no way I'd be, you know, have the opportunity to be there. You know, my linebackers, my D-line, they make the quarterback make fast decisions, and that puts me in the place to make a play. And my DBs, you know, they're all balanced, so it gives me, you know, room to make plays.
No doubt about it. Tremendous afternoon against Faulkner, a team with Josh Hollingsworth, a transfer from Mississippi State, highly touted quarterback. With him coming into play, knowing that he's a transfer, he's got records, he'd set records in the week before that you guys faced Faulkner. Were the DBs especially focused on his game?
I mean, yeah, we was a little anxious during practice, but we still prepared the same way throughout the week. Coaches kept telling us in the head, you know, this is going to be one of the best quarterbacks, you know, you're going against. So we had that in our mindset. You know, it was kind of like a challenge to us. So, you know, we was up for the challenge. So.
Of course, coaches with study hall about the X's and O's.
Yeah.
Let's back up a little bit because in college, you're student athlete. Student comes first. Let's talk about your education. What's your major? What are your future plans?
Like, I've been kind of going back and forth, you know, what I want to do. You know, I was talking to my mom, you know, I kind of want to be an engineer. So I think down here they don't offer it, but you have to go you have to major as a math or a computer science. And I have to transfer to, another university. But I'm thinking about going the engineering route, but if not, maybe teaching because I want to coach too. So
yeah. A lot of players. It's amazing how they want to go on and become coaches. And Coach Hilton, he'll tell you it's not such a bad career. He's made a nice life out of it.
He's made it look good.
Dimitri Travis, let's talk about your football background for those that may not know you and know where you come from. Talk about your high school days and your high school coach.
I'm from Hazard, Kentucky, and I went to Prairie Central. So my high school coach, he originally played in Madison Central in Richmond, but his name's Coach Brown, Coach Burt Brown.
Right.
Don't tell him I said his first name.
Yeah.
I think he's at Madison Central right now, but he was a good quarterback coach. You know, he knew what he was talking about. You know, I believed what he said. I think he started all 4 years at Tennessee Tech, so you know he had some good numbers down there.
And of course, you were an offensive player as well. And many college players are. They do go both ways. You were an offensive player there as well. Do you miss that part of the game at all?
I do. You know, they try to get me back there on return sometimes, but we got a good return, Trey Hutch. So you know, I don't get as many opportunities as I want. But you know, I got faith in Trey. But in high school, I didn't even play corner. I played safety and wide receiver. Yeah. So I mean, it's a little different, but you know, I'm doing whatever to help the team.
One of the guys on the offensive side of the ball, Jordan Amos. I know you're real familiar with Amos, and he's over on the offensive side. You ever thought about maybe asking him to, maybe swap numbers one week and you guys just trade out?
Actually, I have. You know, I ain't really asked him, but you know, it's ran across my mind.
Something you guys have talked about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
No doubt about it. Differences between the program. Dudley Hilton, first year, the winningest high school football coach in the Commonwealth, and the differences between the entire program from last year to this year, the attitude, the practices, and just the mental aspect of the team.
Yeah, totally different. I don't want to talk about, nobody from last year, but you can just tell, the energy, just the level of competition, everything's completely different. Coach Hilton's demeanor is just, you can tell when he steps on the field, we're handling business, we're doing whatever it takes to win, and just, I have complete faith in whatever he tells us to do.
Automatically has a lot of respect because of so many high school wins. How much did you know about Coach Hilton before he landed on campus here at the University of Pikeville?
I knew a little bit. My freshman and sophomore year, until we played, they beat the brakes off of us every time we played them. When we seen that game against Bell County, we didn't get nervous, but we knew, that's going to be a hard team to play. So I knew when he came in here that he knew what he was talking about. He knew what we had to do, to help us get a better team and start, a good traditional program.
Of course, his son plays for UPike. He's part of your defensive unit, John Dudley Hilton, and he was on the show in recent weeks. And when I asked about playing for his dad, he said he was mean.
Man, I don't
Any
really,
truth to that?
I don't really think so. He just, he's about business, and that's why you should be. You ain't supposed to be soft, because when that happens, people don't respect you, the players don't respect you, and the program's not as good as what you expect it to be.
I've heard about a 30-year-old hat as well that Coach Hilton's been known to wear that says "Get Tough."
Yeah.
Have you seen the hat?
I have every day in practice.
Have you seen the attitude?
Yes.
Is that something that's been adopted by the players?
Yeah, we break out to that, like every time we break after the end of practice or like even after the end of the games, So we kind of took on that concept.
Your secondary coach, David Jones, player in the SEC, and I'm sure you guys as young college athletes have a great deal of respect for him because he has been there and done that. How has he helped Dimitri Travis become a better football player?
Tremendously. Like, I didn't, I was kind of like raw coming in here because I didn't really know about technique and all that, and he's coached me. I was here a little bit in the summer, and he was too, so he kind of, taught me technique and told me how I should like handle certain situations. And he's, he's kind of close to my age, so he handles like where, all the DBs are coming from. So it's been great having him here to help us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dimitri Travis, the NAI Defensive Player of the Week, and I'm not going to let you go just yet. One last question. What are some goals for this UPike football team this year?
Definitely to win the, conference championship and hopefully go farther than that. But I feel if we come together more as a family and start, trusting each other, then we'll be on the same page, and I definitely think we can accomplish that goal.
Congratulations on the National Player of the Week award. It's a tremendous honor. Congratulations on a 3-1 start. I know you don't do it individually, and if you would, pass good luck on to your teammates this week against Campbellsville.
I will.
Dimitri Travis, he is the NAI Defensive Player of the Week. He's number 4 in your scorebook. You'll see him in the defensive secondary as the Bears continue the 2011 season. We'll continue with the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, right after this. Welcome back in the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless from Jerry's Restaurant, South Mayo Trail. We're here every Tuesday evening at 6:30, and you're invited to join us next week as the Bears will return from Campbellsville in Mid-South Conference play. And it's that time of the program when we talk about the upcoming opponent. Of course, thanks so much, David Jones, secondary coach at the University of Pikeville, and National Defensive Player of the Week, Dimitri Travis. What a great young man, and not too shabby that you've got somebody in the secondary like that.
Well, yeah, he represents us well back there, and he's a good leader, and just playing hard, and that's what you want. I don't know how much ability he's got, but he's got a big heart, and that'll take you a long ways, and he does a great job, and they're all working together back there.
Secondary, the guys in the secondary, they're making David Jones look good. I'm not sure how much coaching it is.
I don't know either, but no, I tell you, David's really took hold of them and has done a great job with them.
You've got a talented group there with West and Travis, Salmons and Haddix. It's a tremendous group back there.
Yeah, and he's got to get him a little bit more depth back there, because you never know when go on. Dimitri kind of pulled a hamstring this week, but I think he'll be all right to play. But you just can't take a chance. You better have somebody take your place if you did go down.
No doubt about it. You've got an opponent this week who likes to throw the football, and that's Campbellsville, and it's a bit of a homecoming for Dudley Hilton. heading back to the old home place and where you grew up and where you played high school football, of course, in Springfield. The 1:30 kickoff at Campbellsville, and of course coverage at 1 on Z-Rock 107.5, online at 1075zrock.com. Coach, scouting report on the Tigers. What do you know about Campbellsville?
A very solid football team. You know, they're a very represents the Mid-South very well. They play good, solid football. They're very strong. You know, very established coaching staff, been there several years now. Purry was a high school coach like I was for a long time and got into the Campbellsville job. And I don't know how many years exactly he's been there, but I'm going to say 7 or 8. And he's got it, you know, pretty well on solid ground. They've got a big turf field now, and their facilities has come a million miles in the last 2 or 3 years, and their program shows it. So you're talking about a very experienced, strong, athletic football team and a good coaching staff that just does a good job with them. But you know, they got a very experienced quarterback, has been around a while, and a good running back. And of course, we all got those things. You know, the big tall receiver out there like we got, and you know, I think we match up against each other well, and you know, I don't think they're scared of us, and I think our kids right now are not scared of them either. So that's a good combination. It makes for a good football game.
Before you headed on the road for your first road game at Shorter, we talked about focusing a team on the road. Will you guys be heading to Campbellsville on Friday?
Oh, yeah, we're going down on Friday. We just couldn't afford we thought about early in the year that, you know, maybe we'd just have one road trip and that'd be shorter. But after I got looking at it and studying a little bit more, we'd have to left here at 6 o'clock in the morning. And if you're going to compete, you got to go out here, you know, and give your kids a chance. You know, you ride a bus there for 5 hours, and then all of a sudden you get off of it and play. I don't know what kind of chance you have, but everything worked out well for us. And at Shorter game, even though we came home with a loss, we did represent our university well. We did play hard for 4 quarters, and I think it'll be the same thing this week.
Being on the road, a chance to keep your team in check a little bit. They're not out running around the night before a game. Does that help to focus on just football?
Well, one thing you know, we talked earlier in our show here tonight how focused our kids are, and you know, we got to get that killer instinct. Well, this is the thing, we've took our football game serious. Our kids, it don't matter if it's a home game or a away game. We're treating them all the same. They're our next game, and we got on a schedule, and we make these kids get in if they're home, and if we go on the road, we're putting them in a motel. So we're not going on a party. We're not going to vacation. We're going to play a football game, and I think that's why our coaches. That's the way we coach, and our kids respect that, and that's what they want. And you know, we'll be ready to play. We won't have, you know, so many people makes up excuses. One of the big excuses that we use in high school, we had to go 60 miles. You know, the road trip, it killed us. It wore us out. You know, we had no excuse. It don't matter if we had to go to Timbuktu. You know, we're going to play, and we're going to do what it takes to go and be ready to play, and that's what we're doing this week.
Dudley Hilton, a homecoming for you. Is that bring a special feel to this game?
Oh, yeah, I have a lot of family. Most all my brothers and sisters be there. I just got one brother, but 3 sisters, and I know they'll be there. I know my old high school coach. And of course, he's already came and watched one game here, but I'll have a lot of my buddies that I played football with, or you know, I originally from St. Catherine College. You know, when we, you know, we talk basketball here a little bit. That you know, St. Catherine's where I went when it was a junior college there. So, you know, I have some relationship there with St. Catherine College, but you know, it is home. I've played football at Washington County and the old Springfield High School, and so I will have a lot of family, which is Springfield's about 25 miles. I mean, Councilville about 25 miles from Springfield, but again, it'd be good for me, but it's also good for a football team to go and play a good, solid football team like Campbellsville.
We're looking for a win in the Mid-South Conference Saturday with Campbellsville. Coach, best of luck.
Thank you. It's our first in our side of our conference. It's a very important game, and I think our kids, we've had a great week of practice so far, and I think our kids realize what we're up against, and I think we're going to turn it up a notch this week, Andrew.
It's the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. The game 1:30 Saturday in Campbellsville as the Bears take on the Tigers in Mid-South Conference Eastern Division play. Our coverage begins at 1 on Z-Rock 107.5. You can listen online at 1075zrock.com. Coach, we'll end the show the way your team breaks huddle. Get tough.
Get tough.
Good luck to the Bears this week against Campbellsville. You've been watching the Dudley Hilton Show presented by Appalachian Wireless.